Hey, how's it going, guys? So I had gotten some questions about the Diamond J Custom shocks that I've got on this VF-1 Crosskart. Before I go over them, I'll go ahead and preface with, on the front end, I've got the 400mm model. The back end has the 460mm model. And the only difference is literally the same shock front and rear, but the 460mm model in the back actually comes with two of their longest extensions, and it also comes with a slightly longer bottom eyelet. And that's literally the only difference though. But in terms of length of travel, it's pretty much the same front and rear. And on the front end, honestly on all four corners, I am running the basically two of their threaded rod end extensions, and I'll show you those right quick. You can see them there. You can stack them, but you know, I've got the longest one on the bottom, which I think is a 1.5 inch, and then the one just above that is their 1 inch version. And anyway, that's, you know, I've just got those stacked in on top of one another. There's about 3/4 of an inch of thread that extends up into the female side of the shock and just the extensions themselves. But yeah, so that's how I'm getting the length out of this for the rod height. And what's nice about that is, rather than having to relocate the top, I mean, you can do that, but you could also, to have a little bit more granularity out of it, you could just take the shock off and unthread one or both of these extensions to have a slightly lower rod height. So anyway, it's a little bit more versatile that way. And also on this shock, as you can see here, they are rebound adjustable by that bottom threaded knob, or by the bottom adjustable knob there. And the top of the shock is preload adjustable via this ring here. Now, it looks like I've got a lot of preload dialed in, but I actually don't. I have almost none on it. And in fact, it's so little that the spring itself is loose sitting in there. And it's the same way on this side. The spring is actually loose sitting in there. So there's virtually no preload on these right now as it sits. But the preload is adjustable pretty far down the shock body, all the way down to about where my fingernail is behind that coil on the spring. So you could probably, it's probably about a good 2.5, 3 inches of preload adjustment that you can dial in if you need it. So I'm gonna set up the camera so you can see how much droop I get when I set this thing down. If I can get the camera to focus, there you go. So I'll lower the jack slowly so you can see how much the Crosskart weight alone compresses the springs. There we go. Now the full weight of the Crosskart is on the springs. And I'll go ahead and stand on it too. Now I weigh about 250 pounds, and with my weight on it, it droops some, and then I'll bounce. So it's not too bad. Now again, that's with zero preload. So obviously you can dial in a little bit more. I'll probably need to dial some in just for my body weight. But overall, it's not bad, and it feels pretty good on the front end of the cart, at least, for me just bouncing up and down on top of it. But yeah. One thing to note about the preload adjustments is, yeah, here it is. You adjust it via a little tool that comes with it. It indexes into the holes here in the ring. But once you get it to where you want it, for additional security, one of the holes does have a threaded screw in it. And that hex head screw can be tightened down against the threaded shock body just to secure it in place so it doesn't back out on you. But yeah, that's that. I mean, I've been pretty impressed with them so far. But again, that's, you know, I'm in the midpoint of my build. I haven't put an engine in it yet, so I haven't actually run these, but just bouncing on them in the garage and sitting in it and making race car sounds with my mouth, it seems pretty good.